A 2019 report showed a 4,500% increase in girls that now identify as male. And so you can imagine after 4 more years of this indoctrination, that must be at 10,000%. Because you see 32% rate, of kids, and I don't even think that's the true figures with all of the parents that come up to me and let me know about what's going on. The same parent that was involved with the university student has her son last year in grade 10 with a trans activist in the class, LGBTQ activist, who used their trusted position to force the children to watch a drag queen video. And the child said, I am not comfortable with this. I want to be absent. And what if I was sick? She said, he, she, or whoever it was, the teacher was, said, then you will fail. This is extortion. This is intimidation. This is happening to 15-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 4-year-olds. It is got to stop, and we've got to rise up ferociously in defense of our children. I know moms whose daughters have been lured into this and have committed suicide. Don't talk to me about the 7% and base all of your argument on that. Who is SOGI for? It says SOGI is every student, teacher, faculty, and administrator. Again, why? Why is SOGI for the teachers and administrators? Kids in elementary school have no idea of your sexual adult proclivities or fetishes. You need to keep it out of the school system. Again, it talks about the 19% high school students, and we've compared that to hard numbers at 32%. Policies, inclusive policies and procedures that reference SOGI have been proven to reduce discrimination, suicide ideation, and suicide attempts. Wrong. This is false information. Inclusive environments, inclusive operations, language, and practices embedded into our classrooms. Hear that word, embedded. I say that this is indoctrination. SOGI is not its own curriculum. We've talked about that. SOGI is a learning resource, and we're going to skip down. Children are too young. So addressing concerns. Children are too young to be exposed to this subject. And they say, oh, no. No one is too young to learn about love and respect for diverse individuals and families in our school community. Pedophilia is behind this agenda, as I've shown you on our political LGBTQ site on the website, when we've looked at the WHO's new sexuality policies, right? 0 to 4, teach children about masturbation, right? Sexualize them. And of course, the whole direction that this is going is pedophilia, because they're advocating for children to be able to love whoever they want to love. Well, that's when they've been indoctrinated and groomed to have that very unhealthy pedophilic relationship with an adult who's been grooming them. And that's why in Saskatchewan, Scott Moe has come so hard down on the policies, but the LGBTQ and EGAL have come out and said that they didn't want parental policies. They said that this was in violation of a child's charter rights. All right? A child doesn't have the same charter rights because they're under the care of their parents. That's why they can't smoke drugs. That's why they can't go out and buy alcohol or have sex with prostitutes or, get a driver's license. They're under the care of the parents, and it's obvious why parents need to maintain that control because of these individuals that are saying no one is too young to learn about love and respect. There is something underlying amongst this message. Children are not sexual, and therefore they should not be exposed to this ideology. There are only two genders, male and female, and therefore boys and girls should only be encouraged to embrace their sex at birth, because somewhere in here they talk about according to the experts, between the ages of 2 and 3, children begin to express their gender identity. And what this is based on is Kinsey, Alfred Kinsey, who was a horrible pedophile. Audrey Werner, we had her on the show, and she gave the history of where sexual health came into the education system. And they keep wanting to say sexual orientation, SOGI, is not sexual health. Then why do they keep talking about sexuality to children? Why is this not private and being done in sexual health classes? Well, because the underlying here is to sexualize children at the earliest age possible. And that's why they're talking about 2 and 3-year-olds being able to express gender identity, because Kinsey was experimenting on babies and young children to the point that is so horrific and abusive, and he was using pedophiles to do it. And out of his tremendous research, he determined that kids were sexual at birth. And this is what is behind this agenda. And this is why we have to even remove sexual health from the education system.